Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakar Kadash, and the Heavenly Father. True name is Yahweh, and his unbegotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, Balash Kadash, the Holy Tongue. And I say Barakatham to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim, Wa'akwaf, and I say Shalom. And this is a World War III news updates as of March the 13th, 2026 on this Friday night. And this is from the time of Israel. It says Trump says U.S. obliterated every military target on island key to Iran's oil industry. Damages, but no injuries reported as the IDF dispatched search and rescue forces to impact sites of the northern community, amending concurrent Iranian and Hezbollah attacks on Israel. Right, because they do heavy strikes on northern Israel, southern Israel, and central Israel, and over there in Golan Heights, and over in Tel Aviv. So the tensions are really heating up between Hezbollah and Iran together, other pro-Iranian groups going against the Israel Defense Force. It says 28 minutes ago, it says rocket warning sirens sound in several towns near Lebanon. Right, because you can have Israel Defense Force been doing airstrikes throughout Lebanon, which is Hezbollah, pro-Iranian group over there in the area. As Hezbollah been firing missiles against the Israel Defense Force as well too. It says this was updated 37 minutes ago. It says members of the Iranian-backed Calibat Hezbollah says unalive and strike on a car in Baghdad. It says 1 hour ago, Iran threatens to attack energy infrastructures after the U.S. strikes island on export oil from 2 hours ago. IDF says search and rescue forces at the scene reported missile impact in northern Israel. This is the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter. As Yahushua mentioned, there was going to be increasing signs of wars and rumors of wars. And that's what we're seeing. Before I bring that out, this is the book of Luke 21, verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and upon the earth distress nations were perplexity, and the seas raged ruin. Right, so Yahushua showing us these signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and right along with the distress of nations, because the nations are in distress, they are in perplexity, and the seas rage roaring. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing the nations are in perplexity, uncertainty, due to the fact that we're seeing wars and rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, modern day ruler against modern ruler, seditions, uprisings, uproars, people war. So these nuclear tensions and nuclear wars are heating up between the nations, and while the nations are in perplexity, which is increasing on a day-to-day basis throughout the world, especially in particular throughout Western Asia. And this is Matthew 24 and verse 6. And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. Right, that's what we're hearing on a day-to-day basis, wars and rumors of wars, especially between Iran and Israel Defense Force, in Iran versus the United States as well too, over there in the Persian Gulf, and over there in the Mediterranean Sea, over there in the Gulf regions, and throughout Western Asia. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must first come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, so it's going to come to pass, but it's not going to end just yet. So on a daily basis, when we see an increasing uptick of wars and rumors of wars, especially our nations are rising against one another. Matthew 24 verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Right, just like earlier today, you had a 6.5 earthquake in central Chile. And then we see the famines are increasing, pestilence are increasing, earthquakes in various places, in diverse places. And we see the kingdom against kingdom and nation against nation, and the wars and rumors of wars are increasing on a day-to-day basis. This is Mark chapter 3 and verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided, shall the kingdom not stand? Right. So these are modern day kingdoms and modern day times are rising against one another. They're going to continue to be divided, except shall not stand. That's what we're seeing. Verse 25. And if a house be divided, except the house not stand. Verse 26. And if Satan rise against himself, be divided, cannot stand but have an end. Right. That's what we're seeing. This is the prophet Joel, chapter 3, in verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Right, so let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And that's what we're seeing over there in Western Asia. All the nations are increasingly being gathered up over there in Western Asia. That's why we're seeing tensions are heating up between Iran and Israel Defense Force and the pro-Iranian group going against the I would say the pro-Iranian group and Iran together and the proxy groups going against the Israel Defense Force throughout Western Asia. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 10. Beat your plowshares and the swords and the plenty of the spears. Let the weak sound strong. Right, so let the weak sound strong. Of the pro-Iranian groups continually to rise up, and the Iranians armies and the pro-Iranian armies and the Hezbollah armies and the Houthi rebels all of them together going against the Israel Defense Force over there in Western Asia between the borders of Golan Heights, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, throughout those whole regions, especially as of recently over there in the Strait of Hormuz and over there in the Persian Gulf and the Mediterranean Sea and over in the throughout those areas over there in that region. This is Ecclesiasticus 3 verse 8. Ecclesiasticus 3 verse 8. It says, in a time to love, and a time of HATE, and a time of war, time of peace. Right, so we live in a time of WAR and a time of HATE, because we're seeing, modern day ruler against modern ruler, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Lawlessness, iniquities, and judgments are increasing on a day-to-day basis. So we definitely see these war, evil, and the pestilence, like it says in Jeremiah 28 verse 8, especially the war categories, and that's what we're seeing in these modern day times. Now we get to that news article about that. I think the Trump administration made that announcement today that he has sent some Marines to protect what's going on over there in the Strait of Hormuz in the Persian Gulf as the rising tensions are heating up between Iran and the United States armies. U.S. sent 25,000 Marines. Yep, it says, this is from NTD-TV. It says U.S. sends 2,500 Marines to the Middle East, which is Western Asia, as Iran war intensified. It says about 2,500 U.S. Marines are deployed to the Middle East, which is Western Asia, as Americans and the Israelis strikes keep pounding Iran, and the Islamic Republic keeps attacking the Persian Gulf shipping and energy infrastructure. The Americans has ordered 25,500 Marines and individuals assault ship to the Middle East, and U.S. officials say Friday in addition of forces in the region after nearly 2 weeks of war with Iran. It says hours later, President Trump and U.S. forces has obliterated the military on Iran's Kark Island, if I pronounce that right. It says the primary term that handles Iran's oil export. It says and warned that the island's oil infrastructure that could be in the next a day early. The speaker of the Iranian parliament warns that such a strike will provoke a new level of retaliation. Meanwhile, the Iranian capital and the large explosion rock in a central square where thousands were gathered for an annual state organized rally to support the Palestinians and call for Israel's demise. Israel has warned that it would target the area in the central Tehran There are no reports of casualties, but the decision to proceed with the mass demonstrations attended by some senior government officials in Israel threats to target the area underscore the fierce determination on both sides in a war has rattled the global economy and shows no sign of letting down. Iran continues to launch widespread missiles and drone attacks on Israel and neighboring Gulf states and has effectively closed the Strait of Hormuz through the fifth end of the world's trade oil passage, even as the United States and Israeli warplanes ponder the military and other targets across Iran. The humanitarian crisis, Lebanese dipping, and nearly 800 people unalive and 850,000 displaced as Israel launched a wave of attacks against the Iranian-backed Hezbollah militants and warned that it won't be no let up. It's the book of Revelations. Matter of fact, the book of Luke first. Yep, Luke 21, verse 9. And when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Right, so Yahushua mentioned this when he spoke to disciples 2,000 years ago, which they later became apostles. You know, Paul, Peter, John, James, Andrew. And he spoke about this 2,000 years ago. Yahushua, the disciples during their times. Now this being mentioned, these are times. And that's what we see in our world today. You know, these modern day wars and commotions, especially throughout Western Asia, in the Persian Gulf, and the Gulf states, in the Gulf region. So that's only going to continue to increase. It's going to come to pass, but then on the end just yet, end by end by. It says things to come. Salakia, things to come. Luke 21, verse 10. Then say he unto them, nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Right, that's what we see in Iran versus Israel. Iran versus the United States, Hezbollah and the pro-Iranian groups going against the Israel Defense Force, the United States armies, Great Britain, and all of them. So these are signs of what you see. Nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, which is only going to continue to uptick and increasing. And this is Revelations 11, verse 14. I'm going to start at verse 9. Revelations 9 and verse 12. It says, the one woe passed, and behold, there come two woes thereafter. Yeah, one woe passed, and behold, there are two more woes come thereafter. And before I bring out that Revelation 11, verse 14, I'm going to get to that Ezekiel. And this is Ezekiel 38 and verse 5. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, with all of them a shield of helmet. Right, so we see in Iran heating up against Israel Defense Force, because Russia is going to be a guard unto them, because Russia is giving intel and more information and more military equipment and capabilities to Iran to use against the United States armies and use against the Israel Defense Force. It says Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, with all of them with shield of helmet. Ezekiel chapter 30, verse 6, Gomer, which is modern day Turkey, because you're going to have Turkey is going to be allied to Iran as well, too, as you have military bases of Turkey over there in Iraq and Syria, because they're going to be going against the Israel Defense Force. It says Turkey and all his bands, the house of Togarmah off the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Ezekiel 30, verse 7, be thou prepared for thyself and all thy companies that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Right, so Russia is going to be a guard to these nations, especially particularly Iran. As Iran-Israel war continue to heat up on a daily basis. Ezekiel 39 verse 1. Therefore thou son of man, prophesy against God. Thus saith Yahweh Basham Shai, behold, I am against thee, O God, chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, right still to this day. Ezekiel 39 verse 2. It says, I will turn thee back and leave but the sixth part of thee, and I will cause thee to come up from the north parts, and I will bring thee upon the mount of Israel. Ezekiel 39 verse 3. It says, and I will smite thy bow in thy left hand, and I will cause arrows to fall thy right hand. And this is Revelations. This is the book of Revelations 11 verse 14. The second will pass, behold, the third will come quickly. Right, so the second will pass, behold, the third will come quickly. Armageddon, Armageddon 1. And so with that, hopefully this sit down. That was edifying of World War III news updates as of March the 13th, 2026, on this Friday night. So hopefully this was edifying. So with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Korkadash, and the Heavenly Father. True name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahushai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, Velashkadash, the Holy Tongue. And I say Barakatham to the elders and apostles, wa Akim wa Akwa. Until next time, I will say Shalom.